Hello and welcome to the Arts Overlook. Each episode we look to inform you of the numerous arts-related events, organizations, and opportunities around Cedar Falls. This edition will tell you about a local artist who uses his love for music for a greater good, as well as give you a sneak peek at Cedar Falls Community Theatre's latest production. We'll also give you a video recap of this year's College Hills Arts Festival. All this and more coming up. Art is thriving in the Cedar Valley. It's everywhere. But if you don't know where to look, you could miss it. This is your local arts perspective. This is the Arts Overlook. The Cedar River is an integral part of everyday life in Cedar Falls. Without it, the city would not be as great as it really is. That's why local musician Raldo Schneider and some friends decided to help preserve this natural resource through what has become known as the Cedar River Festival.
It was a big flood, 10 million acres of rolling mud. It was 1 trillion tons of misery coming over the levee, turning the land into the sea, turning me into a refugee. I think we could agree that the great flood of 08 was the biggest flood in history.
Much of Raldo Schneider's music is tied to his surroundings here in northeast Iowa. Whether he's singing about the flood of 08 or the local come-and-go convenience store, you could say Raldo's voice resonates through the Cedar Valley.
I get a lot of ideas just sitting around listening to people talk, just keeping your antenna up, try to get ideas here and there. Try to make it happen, just let it happen. I don't know, I like the outdoors and stuff, so a lot of my songs are about the outdoors. I've written songs about the river a lot, anything. Wrote a song about Grandma playing Powerball, at the Petro Express, just things like that.
It's homegrown music. It's the kind of music that makes people feel good. A lot of his music is just from life experience. A couple of his songs were things that him and I had experienced together.
John Stortz, the band's guitar player, helped with an early recording and stayed on with Raldo ever since. Meanwhile, Travis Smiley traded in a saxophone for a bass and a chance to play with Schneider. The three have now been playing together on and off for about 20 years. But before Schneider began performing with his current band, he helped form an environmental and musical tradition in the Cedar Valley that has lasted a quarter of a century.
25 years ago, a bunch of us got together over a beer in a local pub called Stebbs and decided that we were going to have a river cleanup.
I was working for Blackhawk County Conservation Board, and Raldo came on, and he was working there in the summer, and we got to know each other and came up with this idea, and I said, yeah, let's do it.
The river cleanup became known as the Cedar River Festival, and it paired a day of picking garbage out of the local river with another day of music and celebration. The event drew inspiration from the Mississippi River Revival, with which Schneider was involved.
These guys were floating down the Mississippi, then they'd have little festivals, not every town, but along the river they'd have a festival on Sunday or Saturday or whatever, and the local people would come out and hear the music, and that'd get them involved in the river cleanup too. So the music was a big part of it.
Schneider, Dunnigan, and other longtime cleanup volunteers witnessed an impressive community response within the Cedar River Festival's first years. The inaugural event drew 12 canoes and then shot up to nearly 75 canoes in just 2 years.
A bunch of the local politicians, and like Chuck Grassley was on the float, and Mayor Cruz and Dave Nagel and all those guys took off pretty fast, and about 25 years later it's still going.
It's been a great experience. It's been a good thing, because I was thinking the other day, I was thinking, what if we had never done it? How bad would it be? Because I think by the time I was the president, we'd pulled out somewhere over 40 tons of garbage. Just trying to picture that in my mind. What if nobody cared? And so it's really great that people do this.
Volunteers at the Cedar River Festival never have a dull experience from year to year. The fulfillment of helping a worthy cause, coupled with a day of fun and entertainment, keeps many coming back. Plus, there always seems to be some strange objects pulled from the river, worthy of a good story.
We used to find everything, toilets and cars and you name it, kitchen sinks.
My favorite memory, one of them was Mark Fox, and I don't remember who was with him. He was a president one year also, I believe. They had picked up some giant barrel, and I don't even know how they kept their canoe floating, but they came in and it was just such a picture to see. You know, they had so much garbage on their canoe that it's a wonder they even made it down the river. It's nice to enjoy something when you're giving, you know, instead of enjoying it when you're taking, you know.
While Raldo Schneider's music continues to make its mark in the Cedar Valley, it's the Cedar River Festival that will probably make more of a lasting impression. You could say that the River Festival is Schneider's way of saying thanks to something that has provided him with so much inspiration. For the Arts Overlook, I'm Tim Getty. If you'd like to get involved with the Cedar River Festival, visit its website at www.crfgroup.com. There's an exciting production taking shape at Oster Regent Theater, and our own Matt Chapman stopped by to see what's going on. Here's the story.
The Oster Regent Theater returns in the summer of 2012 with another fantastic play written by the famous American playwright Neil Simon. Chapter 2 features a strong local cast consisting of Grant Tracy, Danny Katz, Carla Cook, and Michelle Ravi. These 4 actors and actresses look to make Neil Simon's vision come to life.
It starts with George, who loses his wife to cancer, and Jenny, who's just gone through a divorce. Their friends Faye and Leo decide to match them up, and they fight it at first. But then they fall mad, crazy in love in 3 weeks and get married.
The story of starting over, a new chapter in life, and the ways that people struggle through that process.
So the play kind of looks at how they deal with these issues and how they come to understand that what's important about them is part of this grieving and letting go and changing and moving on with this new life.
With such a small cast, it means the show really relies on them to sell the story to the audience. Joe Frenna, the director of Chapter 2, believes that these 4 should have no problem delivering the message to the viewers.
I've got an amazing cast. I've got 4 actors who are incredibly hardworking, incredibly caring and passionate about what we're doing.
We've worked with each other quite a bit, so I think we put community into community theater as we're a part of the theater community here for quite some time.
It's not just we're going to come and have a good time. They come, they have a good time, but they work their butts off, and they're extremely talented. I was just so lucky that the cast kind of fell into place the way it did.
While Joe offers high recommendation for the likes of Grant, Tracy, Carla, and Michelle, the cast echoes the same sentiments towards Joe as a director.
It has been really wonderful working with Joe. I think he's really pushed me to try a lot of different characterization traits or examples or exercises or development of character that I haven't done before.
He's awesome to work with. He's taught me a kind of new way of looking at acting, which is to play actions. And I know other directors have stressed that, but he's constantly having me, every line I say, to think of a verb. What is it I'm trying to do? What is it that I want?
He jumps up on the stage and is really involved. He has lots of great ideas as far as characterizations and blocking. In fact, I think he might be the most hands-on director that I've ever worked with.
The cast have set their standards very high for this play as they truly feel that this is some of their best work. Looking at their past experience in theater, that says a lot.
I just think that this is a great show. And that sounds funny, it maybe sounds cheesy, but I think there is so much there with what most of us in our lives have already experienced or will experience. I think in this one, you're going to be pulled in.
A lot of people can shy away from theater because it's too heavy or too serious or too classical or too boring. This is like live television.
It's not going to be a show that you come to and you say, oh, that's cute. Oh, it was something to do. You're going to get engaged in this play, and when you walk out, you're going to feel like you really went through something.
Chapter 2 will be playing at the Oster Regent Theater on August 10th, 11th, 18th, and 19th. For more information or tickets, you can contact Oster Regent Theater at 319-277-5283 or visit their website at osterregent.org. For the Arts Overlook, I'm Matt Chapman.
Thanks, Matt. Looks like another quality production from Cedar Falls Community Theatre. The College Hill Arts Festival took place July 20th and 21st this year, and like usual, the art on display was a sight to see. Before we have to say goodbye, we would like to show you some images of the wonderful works on display and a video recap. Enjoy. That's all the time we have for this edition of the Arts Overlook. Thanks so much for watching and see you next time.